picture and camera and sound.
Oh, that was funny. Oh.
The show must go on.
Hello. Thank you so much for your time. I love the movie. So I have a question for Ben. Ben, you grew up a lot since when you first like debuted in Broadway, right? So how did you approach like the physicality of your character Evan for the movie?
That's a great question. In terms of my body in general, I wanted to do a few things just to make myself feel a bit separate from Ben as a person, because I found the first time, as beautiful as the experience was on stage, it was very hard to sustain the sort of bleed between myself and the characters. So I think going in, I wanted to maintain a bit more separation. So I did, lose some weight and shaved my face and grew my hair out and just did some things to really separate from my kind of natural state, which was very helpful. And then in terms of his kind of physical manifestations of his anxiety, I pulled very much from the same kind of toolbox and instincts as the stage performance, and just kind of toned down for the intimacy of camera, in the sense that one or two small suggestions of the kind of nail biting or clothes pulling or slight hunch goes a lot longer in that kind of a setting than what you need to broadcast on a stage. So I think it was about just finding the most important seeds of the physical manifestation of who he is.
Great, thank you.
This is my favorite one.
Go to Nakia Richardson.
Hi, how are you? Nakia from Where's the Buzz? And this question is for Julianne. Hi, guys.
Hi.
Hi. Great. Julianne, for you play Evan's mom, Ben's character, and you play a mom to a son who's going through a lot, and I think a lot of parents can tap into that.
Mm-hmm.
You're a mom in real life, so did you ever find yourself kind of tapping into who you are in real life as a mom to play Evan's mom?
Oh my gosh, yes, of course. I mean, when I first saw the Broadway show, both of my kids were teenagers, and so it spoke to them, very, very clearly. And then, of course, one of the wonderful things about the show is that when Heidi sings that song, you suddenly get this parental perspective that's just gorgeous. So, I mean, there was a time I can remember when my son was 14 and he literally stopped talking to me. He just really needed to differentiate, and I would just find a way to spend time with him, be near him, take him shopping for jeans or whatever, and then I'd get 2 hours with him where maybe he'd kind of like just connect. So you're always, as teenagers start to differentiate, you just try to be kind of in their orbit, or you watch the show that they, I've seen so many episodes of The Bachelor and Love Island, I cannot tell you, because you want to be there for them when they're ready to say something. You need to be kind of like in their orbit. And it's tough for them, because they need the space as well, but it's like they need space and they need a boundary. So you have to be able to provide them both of those things.
Such a good mom to watch Love Island.
I know.
Fantastic
And
mom.
Bachelor in Paradise, that one, yeah.
All of the Bachelor.
The
All of
IP.
them, that's right. Yeah. Yeah.
We'll go to Stephen Schaefer next. Hello, everybody. Stephen Schaefer from the Boston Herald.
Hi, Stephen.
I wonder, Ben, you were with Evan Hansen from the beginning, off Broadway and then to Broadway. This has really been truly one of those career-changing roles and experiences. Can you talk about when you realized your life was going to be changed from this show and in a real-world situation now, what it's done for you in terms of where you're going to go in the future?
That's a good question. I mean, I think just by virtue of doing it in the first place, I already felt like such a dream was coming true, because I have been doing musical theater since I was 6 years old, and my greatest dream was always to get to originate and create a role in a musical that was entirely original, which unfortunately are becoming fewer and more farther between. And so already to be workshopping it and performing it was an absolute dream come true. I think when I realized that it was going to be something a little bit larger than that average experience was when we started having audiences in Washington, D.C., which was the first place we did a full production. I think, we all loved the piece and we developed a love for it working on it, but I think there's no way to anticipate the kind of emotional reaction that this particular piece always consistently seems to have. And I think when we saw that audiences were not only moved and enjoying the piece, but were so kind of tangibly altered by it, and consistently, no matter what the walk of life was of the people in the crowd, there was just consistent tears and sharing of real difficult emotional conversations afterwards. And so much word of mouth of people going, and then like lots of young people coming and then bringing their parents back, or parents going and bringing their kids back. And it seemed to be such a powerful icebreaker that I got the sense that it was going to spread kind of like wildfire, and then it really seemed to, and grew kind of out of control in a really beautiful way. And now I'm just incredibly grateful that I've been afforded the opportunity to kind of finish that journey and be the one to carry him over to the kind of final Evan resting place that he will live in always, which is this film version. I know that that's a very rare opportunity for someone who performs on stage to get to be the one to then translate it to the screen, and there's a lot of people that don't get that opportunity, so I just feel really lucky that I was asked to do that.
But, let me say, though, because I think he's leaving out the part, you're talking about the show and the show's effect on people. I mean, I was there very early in the Broadway run, because I like to see new Broadway musicals, too. And so there I was there with my kids, and Ben was, you were downstage, center, and he started singing, and it was 2 minutes into it, and he was like electric and original and exquisitely talented and different than anything I'd seen on a Broadway stage ever. And I turned to my daughter, I said, "Oh my God, I've never seen anything like this." I mean, I really did. And then I said, "He's gonna win the Tony." And of course, my daughter was 14. She's like, "Shut up," because she's not thinking about that. But I was like, holy cow. So it's yes, I love this show. I mean, it is a beautiful show, but and I mean, I really do, not, but what you brought to it, it's, when Stephen is saying like a career defining performance, a way where your talents mesh with something so beautifully, it was so original and so electric that it's like suddenly everybody's like, "Oh my God," and that was really special.
Thank you.
It's true.
It's very kind.
Yeah.
Thank you both.
I mean, Jesus.
Next we will go to Peter.
Hi, this is Peter Splendorio with the New York Daily News. How are you guys doing?
Good, how are you?
My question, I wanted to follow up with something you said a little earlier, Julianne, because I thought it was a great answer, and I'm interested just, this film and this musical sheds a light on social anxiety and depression and all these big messages. Like, what's just the power of bringing a movie like this to the screen?
Well, if I'm going to keep going with what I said before, I mean, I've always said this about books and plays and movies and everything. They, where they succeed is when people are able to identify. I always say people come to the movies to see themselves. They don't come to see you. So the biggest compliments I've ever received as an actor is when somebody says, "I saw that movie, and that's just like me," and so giving people that, giving people a place to find their shared humanity is a wonderful thing, and in a show like this where it's so much about connection and mental health, that reflection is profound. It's not skirting around anything. And I also think what Stephen said earlier about there being joy in it too. So it's not a somber piece. It's a piece about human beings navigating life.
Well said.
Thank you.
All right, next we will go to Fred.
Hi, Fred Topel with UPI. Amandla, writing and performing the anonymous ones, how did you approach an original new song that could fit in with the other ones and yet stand on its own as something new?
Well, we knew the song had to achieve a few different things. We knew that it needed to give you a deeper view of Alana and a look into her inner life. And then it also had to be a moment in which she convinces Evan to join the Connor Project. So we kind of started with this idea of like, what does Alana care about? Why does she care about Connor so much? Why does she care about Evan? Why does she want to be his friend? And we decided that, she's having this inner struggle and her own bouts of depression and anxiety, and that she really desperately craves vulnerability and connection with other people. And that what she wants so badly is a world in which people let go of their facades or their masks and are just vulnerable and connect with each other and with her. And so we kind of leaned into that motif of people who are struggling, who you might not know are struggling immediately because, you know, they are presenting this facade. What would be the power of releasing that and being honest with each other? Yeah. I don't know what happened.
Great. Thank you so much. Next up, we're going to go to Natasha.
Natasha.
Acting, acting,
Here we go.
go.
We have Natasha. Natasha Wolf. Alrighty, we will go to Fabian.
Hi, this is Fabian from Ethiopia.
Oh,
hi.
Question, because there are so many beautiful songs, I mean the lyric and melodies. I would like to find out from you guys that what's your favorite song and why?
Ladies.
It's really hard. Today, my favorite song is probably So Big, So Small. Yeah. Because, it just feels so good to hear that from your mom. and the love that Heidi has for Evan is just so beautiful. Yeah.
I love For Forever very much. I mean, I've lived with these songs for many years, so it changes by the hour. But after having seen the movie in its final form, I just really love the way that song unfolds very naturally, and I think it works really beautifully in a filmic setting. And I've always loved to sing that song.
Oh my goodness. I like them all. I mean, I do feel so grateful that I had the opportunity to sing So Big, So Small because I think it's just spectacular at the way it's the whole storytelling aspect of it, and it's so meaningful for me as a parent. But then I also love, my daughter really loves, He Said, that's the title of it?
If I Could Tell Her.
If I Could Tell Her, sorry, yeah. Anyway, she loves that, and when we were watching the movie, the minute it started, she turned to me, and I was really touched by that, because that idea of a boy trying to tell a girl how he feels about her is obviously really potent to her. And it's just, anyway, it's just beautiful, so I love that too.
I like that one too.
Mhm.